Good evening and welcome to the Division II Men's Tennis Selection Show. I'm your host, Will Haskett. Path to a national championship and the road to Altamonte Springs begins right now for 48 fortunate programs, and of those 48, 16 already know they're in the field. They've earned automatic qualifiers as being champions of their conferences. There are plenty of host sites this year as we've expanded the bracket back out to 48 teams. 16 host sites, with some regions having 4, others 6, others 8 teams in 2 4-team pods. First round matches begin at the start of next week. 16 teams from each preliminary site will make their way to San Lando Park, with the matches there starting on May the 18th. One team will be left standing coming up on May the 22nd. So we have 16 sites to unveil for you tonight. Let's hop right in to the all varying brackets. We will begin all the way out west. It's only 4 teams out there and 2 different sites to get to our 2 teams coming out of the West. The first one involving Hawaii Pacific, the top team in the region all season, seeking a little bit of revenge, you could say, after a narrow loss in the Pac West Finals. The Sharks are led by one of the best players in the nation, Jordy Walter, ranking 2nd in the country in singles, and he pairs with Jan Pleva to form a top 10 doubles duo as well. Staying in the islands, they will battle Hawaii Hilo, which sneaks in as the 4th team from the West, having won 8 of their last 9, including a clash with Pacific in their final regular season matchup of the season. The other West battle begins with Azusa Pacific. The Cougars were the winners of the Pac West and tournament bound yet again. They beat the top-seeded Hawaii Pacific in the final, the 4th time both squads had met in the Pac West Championship final. It will be the 2022 squad that will be known as the team that beat the Sharks for the first time in a title match. Not only did the win have historical significance, but Azusa Pacific also avenged a pair of regular season losses to Hawaii Pacific this season. Leighton Bowen was the hero in number 3 singles. He had the clinching point in the 4-3 nail-biter. And Biola earns the 3 seed in the West, the Eagles making this regional thanks to a gutsy run through the consolation bracket of the Pac West tournament to get the wins necessary to earn an at-large spot. All right, to the Southeast region, we'll go next. 8 teams here have earned an invite, playing in 2 pods of 4, and the first is headlined by the top seed, and no surprise, it goes to Columbus State, which just won its 5th straight Peach Belt Conference Tournament Championship on Sunday after defeating Flagler by a score of 4-0. They're led by the nation's top-ranked singles player, Alvaro Regalado. He's been 82-4 during his career in the spring season. He was named the ITA National Player of the Year in 2021, and we would think that Regalado would be on his way to that award again in 2022. The Cougars have won 29 straight matches on its home courts. That's at the Walden Tennis Center. Winners of the 2018 National Championship, and they've played for the title in each of the last 3 seasons. We wonder, will there be another collision course with Barry coming up in the National Championship? If there is, have to get by Belmont Abbey in the first round. First appearance in the NCAA tournament since all the way back in 2001. First time finishing unbeaten in a regular season since Conference Carolina's records were kept. That's all the way back in the mid-90s. Mike Solomon was named the Coach of the Year. Kent Scheel finished unbeaten in singles play during conference's regular season this year for Belmont Abbey, the 8th seed. The other first-round matchup starts with 4-seeded Lander. No program has more national titles than the 8 for Lander, all coming in a row for the Bearcats. And will they be able to find the points to upset the top teams in this region to make another run at a title? That's the only question right now, because it will be a very tricky opening matchup. Queens out of North Carolina is the opener. The Royals capturing their SAC title with their 11th straight win and a triumph over Wingate. That came despite losing a doubles point, but they would not surrender a point in singles before running out 4 victories to earn the program's 3rd conference title. On top of clinching the deciding match point, Lorenz Blikwed was named the tournament most valuable player. The freshman was 2-0 in singles and 2-1 in doubles during that tournament run. All right, to the other Southeast quartet, headlined by the 2nd-seeded Flagler, which will play host to this group of 4. A run to the Peach Belt Finals, capping off a perfect April. While May started with a loss to Columbus State, Flagler did beat the Cougars the previous month, in addition to wins over 4 other ranked opponents in the month of April, so they have the firepower to do it and open up against Anderson, which made a run to the SAC semifinals thanks to the leadership of SAC Coach of the Year, Joey Eskridge. North Georgia, your 3 seed here. The Nighthawks have the talent to knock off any team in the country, but surviving their own region may be the biggest challenge in front of them right now. All of their losses have come against top 10 ranked opponents this year, either in current or then rankings. Joaquin Benoit is number 1 in singles for this team this year, top 10 in the country. He's 7-3 in his last 10 matches, and he will likely be in court 1 against the Bulldogs of Wingate. Mentioned them earlier in the show, fresh off a run to the final match of the SAC tournament where they finished runner-up to Queens. We head to the South now, another powerhouse region, 8 teams here as well, and no surprise again who the number 1 team would be. That would be Barry, the kings of the sport, looking poised to make another title run here in 2022 with the Bucks fresh off their 17th Sunshine State Conference title. The 5-time national champions have made the title match in each of the last 4 national tournaments. There's been a few nagging injuries this year that have slowed the teams at times, but health appears to be in order heading into the tournament. With the 2 Alejandros at the top of the lineup, you've got Alejandro Palacios, he's at number 1 singles, while Alejandro Ibanez Gallego, number 2 in singles, are both ranked inside the top 15 in the country and have won 5 straight matches combined. Barry begins the title defense against Benedict, the SIAC champions, for a 6th consecutive time, the Tigers returning to the tournament. West Florida brings more championship pedigree to this half of the South region. The Argos capturing the Gulf South Conference title and now hope to parlay that into a 5th national championship. Head coach Derek Racine has overseen all of those title runs. He witnessed another deep roster get it done in the conference tournament for the first time since 2017. The clinching points all came from 4, 5, and 6 singles, each of them coming in straight sets. And while Facundo Bermedo didn't get to finish at number 2 singles, he was up in the 3rd against his opponent, and Bermedo has won 14 straight matches heading into this NCAA tournament. Team firing on all cylinders at the right time, and the right time is now against a battle with Valdosta State in the opener. If it comes to setting the tone, no duo in the country has been better than Rodrigo Calvallo and Luca Mack, who are ranked as the top doubles pair in the country this year. Valdosta State winning the national championship back in 2006 and 2011. So that's 11 national titles in just one half of the South region. Hard to match that in the other half, where Embry-Riddle is the 2 seed this year. The Eagles, fresh off avenging a loss over Lynn to capture 3rd place in the Sunshine State Conference tournament. They also came from behind after dropping the doubles point. Senior Juan Ortiz Cowder also got revenge of the number 1 singles spot from an earlier season loss. Enters the tournament with a fresh memory of a 6-4, 6-4 win for the 6th-ranked singles player in the country. Embry-Riddle will battle a team hoping for the last at-large spot here, and Florida Southern gets it in as the 7 seed, holding that regional ranking despite losing its last 4 matches, including one to Embry-Riddle, so a chance to right the ship and exact some revenge in the opener. Familiar foes battling it out in our last matchup here in the South. St. Leo is the 3 seed, a valiant run to the Sunshine State runner-up finish. Bruno Fileto has been awesome this year for the Lions and is the only player in the country to be ranked in the top 3 in both singles and doubles, which will certainly be well known to Lynn, who's in as well. 15 years since Lynn hoisted the trophy for the program's lone national title. Will Kirkman and Ignacio Martinez are ranked top 5 in doubles this season for this team. All right, we slide over to the South Central, a region of just 4 teams. The top seed here belonging to upstart UT Tyler. The Patriots still smiling after a run to the Lone Star Conference Tournament Championship. That was a first in program history and just their first season of eligibility. Safar Rasulov was the hero in number 3 singles. He rallied from down a break in the 3rd set to tie it 4-4, and then he won 2 straight to get the clinching point in a 4-3 thriller to start the celebration. They get the Rattlers of St. Mary's, which fought hard in a 5-2 loss to UT Tyler to close out the regular season just a few weeks back. They look to be upset-minded in this win-and-move-on matchup, the first of 2 in the South Central. The other one is Midwestern State with plenty of experience to build on. They're the 2 seed here. Coach Scott Lynn has taken the Mustangs to the national quarterfinals 5 times in the last 8 trips to the NCAA tournament and looking for a little extra motivation this time around after his team fell in the Lone Star Conference Finals. He can count on a good start at doubles because Alex Martinez Roca and Ben Westwick have been an impressive 20-2 this year at number 1 doubles. Martinez Roca also holds down the number 1 singles spot where he has won 3 straight matches, a streak that he would like to extend against Cameron in the opener, another team that made the Lone Star semifinals. They lost eventually to the top seed here in the South Central in UT Tyler. All right, we keep on moving and check in on the Midwest, where the postseason push gives Wayne State the top seed in hosting duties in the first of 2 4-team pods. The GLIAC champions on an absolute tear. They've won 10 straight entering the NCAA tournament, including a 4-3 win over top-ranked Barry to start that streak. And from there, they've only dropped 6 points in their last 9 matches. The win over Barry was one of 5 wins over ranked teams this season. That provides a stern test with that record against the team that's last in this region. Hello to Lewis, the Flyers holding on in the rankings to snag this spot despite an exit in the GLVC opening round of the tournament. Grand Valley State had no such worry in making the tournament. The Lakers won 8 of 9 before falling to Wayne State in the GLIAC championship, and one of those wins came in the postseason against the 5 seed here, Ferris State. 5 different Bulldogs were all GLIAC honorees this year and now get a rubber match against their conference rivals after splitting the series so far this year. All right, other half of the Midwest, the 2 seed belonging to UIndy. You have to go back nearly 40 years to find a Midwestern school that's won a national title, but not just Wayne State, but these Greyhounds have both the depth and the schedule experience to make that title run. 2 D1 wins earlier in the season. UIndy played a really good national D2 schedule as well, earning several ranked wins. Of their 4 losses this year, 3 have been by the narrowest 4-3 margin, including the GLVC championship stunner to McKendree. That should only focus this team to take care of the little things to make a deep NCAA tournament run. And it will start against Davenport in the first round. May have been a question in this spot, but now no is safe. Welcome Davenport to the show tonight. No such worry for our last 2 teams, both in with championships. We mentioned McKendree. How about their second ever berth in the NCAA Division II men's tennis tournament, qualifying as an at-large back in 2014, but getting it done in the GLVC championship showdown against UIndy. The Bearcats tied a school record for wins this season with 20. Third time in program's history that they have won that many. When you took the entire record, they have wins over NCAA D1 Austin Peay. They beat D3 powerhouse Wash U. They entered the NCAA tournament having won 8 straight. They feature the #1 singles player in junior Leonardo Frederico, who was named the GLVC Men's Tennis Player of the Year. He went undefeated in singles and conference play, the first ever tennis player from McKendree to earn Player of the Year honors. And they face the other champs on this page. That would be Tiffin, champions of the GMAC for a second time. The Dragons getting a tight 7-6, 7-6 win for Matthew Telford to officially punch their ticket into the tournament. All right, 3 regions to go. We head back east where the top seed awaits the winner of a first-round affair that starts with Jefferson, which won their first CACC championship since 2009, second total in program history, making their 5th NCAA tournament appearance and their first since 2011. Hubert Terrio was named the CACC Player of and Rookie of the Year. He has a 13-4 record at #1 singles and 14-2 at #1 doubles. He partners with Herman Lopez Andular, who has not lost to a D2 opponent this season at second singles. He was named first team all-conference as well. St. Thomas Aquinas will try to end that impressive streak in the opener, and the winner of that one will face Lemoyne, which earns the bye and the top seed here, and also hosting duties in the East. The Dolphins have certainly been dominant in the region. You only have to look at their record to see it. In terms of talent depth, this team hasn't lost a singles point on court 5 all season. That's largely thanks to Kasper Pekarik, who has won 15 straight matches, many coming in that 5 spot, while teammate Manuel Rigi simply hasn't lost at all. He's a perfect 17-0 this season. All right, the other 3 teams in the East features our host for this trio. Queens out of New York will play host to these final 3, won their 3rd straight ECC regular season crown and 7th in program history. They're led by the co-player of the year in Kareem Rashad. Head coach Samadi Druker was named ECC Coach of the Year for the 6th time and reached her 100th career win, making their 20th straight NCAA men's tennis tournament and 7th straight under head coach Druker. Chestnut Hill wants a little revenge, as this will be a rematch of an April 16th match that went in favor of Queens. And the winner will play 2-seeded Southern New Hampshire for the right to continue. Don't sleep on what this team can do. They're fresh off a narrow 4-3 loss to Lemoyne in the conference championship. They've been showing improvement from the regular season matchup and perhaps peaking at the right time. 2 more regions to go as we have 4 teams for you in the Central. The top seed belonging to Ouachita Baptist, the Tigers, won their first combined MIAA GAC crown, 6th conference tournament overall in their NCAA era, to return to the tournament and try to represent their region after this coming weekend. Head coach Craig Ward was named the Conference Coach of the Year, while #2 singles player Santiago Kearney was one of 5 different Tigers to earn all conference honors. Washburn has plenty of tournament experience to make this a battle in the opening round for the right to move on. The other matchup could be a thriller as well. Southern Arkansas had a close affair with Ouachita Baptist that almost gave them the automatic qualifier here, but the body of work more than strong enough, including a top 25 singles player this year, Marco Nikoluik, who headlines this lineup for Southern Arkansas. This is a good, deep team and playing some of their best tennis as they head into this NCAA tournament. And he will take the court, as will the rest of his teammates, against Northwest Missouri State. They truncated regional alignment last year. This was the team that actually represented the Central region. They got narrow wins against teams like Washburn and their first-round opponent, Southern Arkansas, to make it all the way to the national quarterfinals, wondering if they can repeat the same type of run this season. All right, we are down to our final 6 teams. It's all in the Atlantic region, starting with the 4th seed. That would be Mercyhurst, which narrowly lost to Edinburgh in the PSAC Championship. There have been a number of close wins and losses for the Lakers this year, including a 4-3 win over 5th-seeded West Liberty, which will try to flip the result of a matchup that came between these two teams back on March the 22nd. That game will be played by our hosts at Charleston. The MEC champions haven't lost since a spring break trip to Orlando matched them up against some of the best programs in the country. Off of the championship, the team's 14th straight win to get that title. Coach Matt Santon said this was a great team win. Quote, "We were able to win back-to-back championships because of the program that is built on the commitment of everyone involved." End quote. That included Krish Patel, who clinched the doubles point and earned the first singles point, and John Giesberts, who only lost a total of 8 games on the day. Final trio now on the Atlantic region. The other side starts with a day 1 battle between Bluefield State, winners of 5 in a row entering the tournament, and they meet Fairmont State. The Fighting Falcons were supposed to play Bluefield just over a week ago. That matchup was canceled. Now they get to have it on an even bigger stage in the NCAA tournament, and the stage will be hosted by 2-seeded Edinburgh, which earns the bye. Back-to-back conference championships for the Fighting Scots. It was a tight one with Mercyhurst coming down to the final match on the courts, where Kaio Sachi earned a 7-5 win in set 2 to secure the 2nd title in a row. His win means every player in the lineup now has a winning record, especially on courts 1 and 2, where Bruno Sabio and Ruben Acuna are a combined 30-6 this year, with Sabio winning 9 straight. Acuna has won 8 straight heading into this NCAA championship. All right, there you have it, all 48 teams that have made it to the regional competitions to determine the 16 that will all come together to compete for a national championship. First serves at most of those sites take place next Monday, and the 16 teams advancing will be seeded into matchups that begin in Altamonte Springs in Florida coming up on May the 18th. We will have a champion 5 days later, and you can be sure to keep up with all of the results as we get our way to Florida right here on NCAA.com. Thank you so much for joining us today. Congratulations and best of luck to all the student athletes competing in this year's championship.
There's an energy swelling out beyond the limits of your expectations. A universe where fandom reigns supreme. Once you're in it, it changes you. Instead of one of one, you're one of many. A blissful sea of chaos. Go beyond your limits and enter the NCAA universe. Get your seats today at ncaa.com/tickets.